turn white as you grip the theater seat, blood pressure escalates, and the entire audience anticipates what will happen next. Lion encounters tend to script the same way. Man runs away like a scaredy cat, lion gives chase, and king of the beasts eats manwich for lunch. But not this time. Almost as improbable as falling up or the second hand on your watch moving counterclockwise, the lion turns tail and Benaiah gives chase. The camera films the chase at ground level. Lions can run up to 35 miles per hour and leap 30 feet in a single bound. Benaiah doesn't stand a chance, but that doesn't keep him from giving chase. Then the lion makes one critical misstep. The ground gives away beneath his 500-pound frame, and he falls down a steep embankment into a snow-laden pit. For what it's worth, I'm sure the lion landed on his feet. Lions are part of the cat genus, after all. No one is eating popcorn at this point. Eyes are fixed on the screen. It's the moment of truth as Benaiah approaches the pit. Almost like walking on thin ice, Benaiah measures every step. He inches up to the edge and peers into the pit. Menacing yellow eyes stare back. The entire audience is thinking the same thing. Don't even think about it. Have you ever had one of those moments where you do something crazy and ask yourself in retrospect, what was I thinking? This had to be one of those moments for Benaiah. Who in their right mind chases lions? But Benaiah now has a moment to collect his thoughts, regain his sanity, and get a grip on reality. And the reality is this: normal people don't chase lions. So Benaiah turns around and walks away. The entire audience breathes a collective sigh of relief. But Benaiah isn't walking away. He's getting a running start. There's an audible gasp from the audience as Benaiah runs at the pit and takes a flying leap of faith. The camera pans out. You see two sets of tracks leading up to the pit's edge. One set of footprints, one set of paw prints. Benaiah and the lion disappear into the recesses of the pit. The view is obscured to keep it PG-13, and for a few critical moments, the audience is left with just the THX soundtrack. A deafening roar echoes in the cavernous pit. A blood-curdling battle cry pierces the soul. Then dead silence. Freeze frame. Everybody in the theater expects to see a lion shake its mane and strut out of the pit, but after a few agonizing moments of suspense, the shadow of a human form appears as Benaiah climbs out of the pit. The blood from his wounds drips on the freshly fallen snow. Claw marks crisscross his face and spear arm, but Benaiah wins one of the most improbable victories recorded in the pages of Scripture. A terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. God is in the business of strategically positioning us in the right place at the right time. A sense of destiny is our birthright as followers of Christ. God is awfully good at getting us where He wants us to go. But here's the catch. The right place often seems like the wrong place, and the right time often seems like the wrong time. Can I understate the obvious? Encountering a lion in the wild is typically a bad thing, a really bad thing. Finding yourself in a pit with a lion on a snowy day generally qualifies as a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. That combination of circumstances usually spells one thing: death. I don't think anyone would have bet on Benaiah winning this fight, probably not even the riskiest of gamblers. He had to be at least a 100-to-1 underdog, and the snowy conditions on game day didn't help his chances. Scripture doesn't give us a blow-by-blow description of what happened in that pit. All we know is that when the snow settled, the lion was dead and Benaiah was alive. There was one set of paw prints and two sets of footprints. Now fast forward 2 verses and look at what happens in the next scene. 2 Samuel 23:23 says, "And David put Benaiah in charge of his bodyguard." I can't think of too many places I'd rather not be than